So apparently everybody did well with the movie except us, except the ones that made the movie and the ones that acted in the film, and we all just got, kicked in the teeth, and that was that.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movies that were never released for shocking reasons.
We'll talk about it, okay?
Okay, I love you.
I love you.
Our only hope lies in the prophecy.
Doesn't make any sense.
For this list, we'll be looking at movies that were mostly or completely finished, but didn't receive a commercial release as planned. While some of these might have been shared online or shown at special screenings, they've yet to be properly distributed in North America. Which unreleased movie do you think deserves a wider audience? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. The Fantastic Four. Before Tim Story and Josh Trank came along, an independent adaptation of Marvel's first superhero family was made.
What did you say?
Unlike the aforementioned big-budget versions, at least this 1994 relic is entertainingly cheesy. We wouldn't expect anything less from B-movie extraordinary Roger Corman, who served as an executive producer. Watching even a few seconds, though, you can see why its premiere was abruptly canceled.
What have you done? What have you done?
Stan Lee stated that the film was never meant to be released. It was hastily done on the cheap just so producer Bernd Eichinger could keep the rights. Corman and Eichinger claim otherwise, but a $1 million Fantastic Four movie was always doomed.
They just flushed it down the toilet. It's gone. That's it. Didn't happen. What you guys just did not happen.
While it was screened in May of 1994 and eventually pirated, don't expect the film to appear on Disney Plus anytime soon.
Yes, the future, my friend.
Number 9. Dark Blood.
Please take pleasure in the unfinished film, Dark Blood.
Movies go unreleased for a variety of reasons, but Dark Blood is one of the most tragic cases. Dutch filmmaker George Sluizer had completed 80% of this thriller by October 1993. That same month, star River Phoenix died of combined drug intoxication. With several Phoenix's scenes unfinished, the film was put on hiatus before ultimately being canceled.
You don't get something you want because you're lucky.
Sluizer held on to the footage, and almost 2 decades later, the film got something resembling closure. The director worked around the lead actor's absence using narration, although Phoenix's family refused to participate.
They are my army of spirits. They make it happen. Just breathe in and out. Can you feel it? Feel the energy? We become as one. This is forever.
While Dark Blood would make it to several film festivals, the closest it got to a general release was in Germany on DVD. Sluizer passed away in 2014, making this his last directorial effort. Number 8. 100 Years. Written by and starring John Malkovich, this Robert Rodriguez film may see the light of day. Most of us won't be around to watch it, however.
In 2015, I, John Malkovich, shot a film which will be held for 100 years. The time required to create Louis XIII.
The title is to be taken quite literally. 100 Years. 100 Years came to the public's attention in 2015 with its release date announced for November 18, 2115. This was apparently one of several shorts that Rodriguez made for Louis XIII Cognac, which is aged for a century.
2015. Thrilling.
The sci-fi film was locked away in a safe that will automatically open on the scheduled premiere date. Metal tickets have been sent to Rodriguez, Malkovich, and about 1,000 others, although they'll likely need to pass them on to future generations.
Have you really made that film?
I have, Graham. Sadly, I must say, it's not the first one I've made that no living person will ever see.
For now, 100 Years has 3 teasers presenting 3 different futures.
Hey, what are you doing here?
Number 7. Bill Cosby, 77. On July 12, 2014, Bill Cosby turned 77 years old. That same day, Cosby shot a 60-minute stand-up film before a live crowd at San Francisco Jazz Center. Directed by Robert Townsend, Bill Cosby 77 was set to hit Netflix in November. A month before the planned release, though, a video went viral where Hannibal Buress called out Cosby's history of allegations in a stand-up routine. Shortly after, numerous women spoke out against Cosby, forever changing the public's perception of him.
People did not want to believe our story.
And I finally said, I can't live in fear for the rest of my life.
In the wake of these accusations, Netflix postponed the film's release. The streaming service decided to scrap it altogether in 2015 as Cosby faced several civil suits.
Some of your biggest supporters have said that they're concerned about your legacy. What would you like your legacy to be?
I really know about what I'm going to do tomorrow. I have a ton of ideas to put on television about people and their love for each other.
Cosby's 2018 conviction was controversially overturned in 2021, but we doubt Netflix will ever release the film.
Yes, there will be no paper conviction, but he will always have to live with the fact that 12 jurors looked him in the eye and said, guilty, guilty, guilty.
Number 6. The Vanishing Act. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 remains one of the century's most curious mysteries. On March 8, 2014, a Boeing 777 took off at Kuala Lumpur International Airport, but failed to reach its destination in Beijing.
This is aviation's greatest mystery. The last time the world had this interest in a missing airplane, the captain was Amelia Earhart.
Nobody knows what happened to the airplane, which disappeared along with the 239 souls aboard. Only a couple of months later, the Cannes Film Festival showcased a trailer for The Vanishing Act, the untold story of the missing Malaysian plane. The teaser was generally seen as insensitive towards the missing passengers and their families, especially since the film was grounded more in theories than facts. Regardless, director Rupesh Paul planned to release The Vanishing Act that August. Much like Flight 370, though, several years have passed and nothing has turned up. Number 5. Empires of the Deep.
We've been waiting generations for this moment.
A Chinese-U.S. co-production, Empires of the Deep aspired to jumpstart a franchise on par with James Cameron's Avatar. Judging from the trailer, it looked more like the next Dungeons & Dragons movie.
My destiny.
Where most of the films on this list had low to modest budgets, this 3D fantasy adventure cost at least $130 million US. The production was plagued with problems, swapping out 4 directors and going through 40 drafts.
My people have put their faith in me, and I'm their only hope.
Multiple actors quit mid-shooting while some weren't compensated. A trailer was unveiled in 2012 featuring Olga Kurylenko as a mermaid queen, giant crabs, and effects akin to a sci-fi original movie. Unsurprisingly, the film has yet to surface in theaters, but if it ever does, please use the working title Mermaid Island USA versus the Plesiosaurus. Number 4. I Love You, Daddy. Louis C.K. served as this dramedy's writer, director, editor, and star. After premiering at the 2017 Toronto International Film Festival, The Orchard picked up the distribution rights for $5 million with a November 2017 release plan.
Sorry, that's what's called for.
Called for by
Me.
The studio saw the film as a potential awards contender, with screeners going to multiple critics groups and Academy voters. As CK found himself embroiled in a misconduct scandal, though, The Orchard canceled the premiere. CK reportedly bought the distribution rights back, while several co-stars, including Chloe Grace Moritz and Charlie Day, refused to promote the film. Speaking of the cast, this is another film starring poor John Malkovich that has been banished to release limbo. Based on the reviews, audiences probably aren't missing much anyway.
Can we get the check?
Number 3. Don's Plum. Between 1993's This Boy's Life and 2013's adaptation of The Great Gatsby, then up-and-comers Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire starred in this independent drama. Also starring a young Kevin Connolly, Don's Plum centers on a group of friends who meet up at a restaurant, and that's about it. The dialogue was largely improvised, with producer David Stutman saying that Maguire revealed personal experiences or tendencies.
For me and you, baby, we will go to the zoo.
That might be part of the reason why Maguire and DiCaprio didn't want the film released. The two stars felt led astray, claiming they signed on for a short rather than a feature.
And you're making people cry and run out of restaurants, and it's like, okay with me.
I'm sick of fucking the nice guy routine, bro.
Yeah, but you're being an asshole.
When I first met you, you were an asshole just like me.
In time, a deal was worked out to show the film, just not in the US or Canada. Don's Plum can be found on YouTube, however.
You thinking about me? No? All right, I'll talk to you later. I'm getting no love, no action tonight.
Number 2, Uncle Tom's Fairy Tales. Penelope Spheris is known for such films as Wayne's World and The Little Rascals.
Babes are like a bad song. Once you get them stuck in your head, you can't get them out again.
Before achieving mainstream success, she shot this student film starring Richard Pryor. As the story goes, Pryor destroyed the negative during an argument with his spouse, Shelley R. Bonus, who supposedly felt he cared more about the film than her. Spheris attempted to patch the unfinished film up, which was supposedly screened for Bill Cosby. Since then, footage from Uncle Tom's Fairy Tales popped up in a 2005 DGA retrospective of Pryor's career, which resulted in a lawsuit from the comedian's wife, Jennifer Lee. Even if the film had been released, its plot, which apparently involved Black Panthers kidnapping a rich white man, might have raised a few eyebrows.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. The Day the Clown Cried. Remember Life is Beautiful, the film where Roberto Benigni's character used humor to shield his son from the horrors of the Holocaust? Well, another comedian made a film with a similar premise about 25 years earlier. In The Day the Clown Cried, Jerry Lewis played a clown who goes from the circus to a concentration camp.
You will see wonderful things happen to a human being because some things happen that make him think about others besides himself, and that's all I'm going to tell you.
Joan O'Brien, who came up with the original story, called The Rough Cut a disaster. Lewis himself was so embarrassed by the film that he fought to hide it from the public eye.
But my sense is that something like that happened, that he thought it was a good idea, and it slowly dawned on him that this is much larger than perhaps he'd realized.
In 2015, 2 years before his death, Lewis did donate a negative to the Library of Congress, although he insisted that the unfinished film not be shown for almost a decade.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.